Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has given us unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure or admire an old one. What will we find today? Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
One of Jesus' 7 I am statements in the book of John is, I am the good shepherd. Now, the people back then would have had a lot of imagery connected with sheep and shepherds that we don't have today. We picture rolling green hills dotted with sheep, and maybe a shepherd napping under a tree or playing a harp like David. Idyllic, but not in the least bit what shepherding was like in Jesus' neck of the woods. Most of us have never even seen a sheep up close, let alone know what its needs and habits are. To really get to know the intricacies of shepherding back then, I'd recommend a little book, A Shepherd Looks at Psalm 23 by W. Philip Keller. It's a quick and very interesting read. For the purposes of studying John 10, as I want to do this week, there's some information about sheep and shepherding in the first century that we ought to know. First, it was a difficult, smelly, dangerous job. Out in the fields, there was plenty of places that sheep could wander and get lost or get hurt. If you've ever had a curious 2-year-old or an Alzheimer's patient under your charge, you'll understand the vigilance you'd need as a shepherd. With my son, when he was little, even locking him in a child-proof room during his nap so I could take a shower wasn't 100% safe. And I only took him to enclosed playgrounds, and even then I made sure to sit next to the entrance or he'd somehow slip away. Jesus used the idea of sheep and shepherds quite often. Like when he talked about one sheep missing out of the 100, and how the shepherd left the 99 in the fold and went looking for the one that had gotten lost. And in John 10, he uses the idea of a fold as well. So that's important to understand. Some towns with many shepherds had community folds where shepherds could bring their flocks at night. It would have a wall and a door or gate, and someone would guard it so the shepherds could go home with their families. In the morning, the shepherds would come and call their sheep, and they would follow them out of the fold. That's the kind of fold the shepherd in the parable would have put his 99 sheep. And this is the kind of fold Jesus talks about in the first few verses of John 10. But sometimes shepherds had to lead their sheep quite away from town, so at night, he might make a fold using a circle of thorny branches neither a sheep or a predator could jump over. He'd put the sheep in there, and then, at the opening, he'd lay down and sleep, so nothing could get by him without his notice. The shepherd would then become the door of the makeshift fold. That's the kind Jesus is talking about in John 10:9 when he says, I am the door, because the shepherd could be a shepherd and the door at the same time. Another thing about sheep and shepherds is that they got to know each other really well. Sheep might be dumb, but they recognize the voice of their shepherd and follow him. That comes up several times in John 10. And the shepherd knows his sheep by name. He knows every detail about them. When he leads them into the fold at night, he stops each one with his staff and checks them over, just to make sure they aren't hurt. He might put oil on their face because flies are bothering it, or he might tend a cut or something. It's very personal, intimate relationship. And the sheep trust their shepherd. He leads them to their food and water. He protects them, and they know he cares about them. No wonder God uses the analogy of sheep and shepherds so many times in the Bible. In fact, I bet he made sheep just so he could use this analogy. As we discuss more treasures in John 10 this week, think about your relationship with the Lord. What kind of sheep are you? And how has your shepherd showed his love and care for you recently?
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. We'd love to hear the treasures God has given you through His Word. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you can find in the description below. Thank you for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.